Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 2 of the new year. We are here to recap day 1. I am your host, the always charming, always dapper heavyweight champion of podcasting, Phillip Antoine. I am joined by Brandon Tanguba. He is a destroyer of Canadians, except for myself and Brock Lesnar. Brian Tronick is not here with us. He was supposed to be here for the day 1 recap, but he is under the weather. So we are wishing him all the best in his recovery to get well. We wish him the best, and we wish our tribal chief the best. Yes, day 1 was thrown in a frenzy. It was announced a few hours before the show that Roman Reigns had tested positive for COVID-19. I will read Roman Reigns' statements that he put out to Twitter. It's the first time the people hearing us in the new year. Say hello, Brandon.
Hello, everybody. Just like day 1. You know, we got a late little curveball, but it's okay. We're going to do it just like WWE did. We're going to give you a fantastic product.
Yes, sir.
I don't say fantastic, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. So Roman Reigns took to Twitter and he said, "I yearn to perform at day 1 to defend my Universal Championship. However, unfortunately, earlier today, I tested positive for COVID-19. Due to the proper protocols, I am unable to compete as originally scheduled. I look forward to returning to action as soon as possible." Man, it hurt when I first heard that. I was like, oh my God, no. I've talked to the Fatus. Roman is doing okay. He's doing fine. He's the one, so he's gonna kick COVID's booty. Absolutely. But I wonder what Vince was going through, man. He was probably like, "Oh no, my special boy." What were your thoughts when you heard that Roman Reigns had COVID and they announced that Brock was going to be in the match, now making it a fatal 5-way for the WWE Championship? What were your thoughts on all that, Brandon?
It all happened so quick. I think it happened like an hour and a half before the show kind of started. Ara Hawani broke the news, and then Roman sent out the tweet. It's crazy, but if you've been paying attention to sports and just kind of the news in general, you've been seeing that the COVID cases has been rising. And we saw this last week. We saw Seth and Becky and Big E and Roman get taken off the tour. And so it was a very real possibility that day 1 was going to be thrown in a frenzy. We thought maybe it was going to be the fatal 4-way, but it happened to be, technically the fatal 4-way. They get thrown in a frenzy as well, but it was the Roman testing positive. And I know I'm the cynical one on the show, Phillip, but do you actually think it happened as late as it did? Because he did get taken off last week. I mean, WWE sometimes doesn't like to share everything right away with the public.
It's a possibility, man. I mean, this new strand, you can be taken off the road or something, and just as a protocol, and then you may experience feeling ill, but you won't officially test positive for quite a few days later, like what's been the case with Roman, and honestly been the case with a couple people I know in my personal life. They haven't felt it well or whatever. They test negative, and you fast forward a couple days and boom, they're positive. So, I mean, I'd like to assume that was the case.
So, definitely WWE's not lying to us that they knew for a week, and they're like, oh, well, I mean, we know this is going to happen, so we should just not tell anybody. But then they didn't tell anyone until it got leaked. So, I'm just throwing it out there.
No, none of that. This isn't the other company.
No, they definitely would not, just withhold information because it would do bad to their bottom line. Even though these premium live events, now that we're calling them in the year of our Lord 2022, they're making hand over fist with Peacock and the Saudis anyway, so it doesn't even matter who's on the show.
Man, it's we should get a new name for podcasts. This premium audio recap. I like that for our pay-per-view. Yeah, I think that's what
premium live event.
This is what we're going to be doing now. This is our premium audio recap of WWE's premium live event of the year.
There you go.
Day 1. There, I love it. I love this. But let's get into it. It became a fatal 5-way. I like to start backwards when big stuff happens. Big E defended the WWE Championship against Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, the Almighty Bobby Lashley, and the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's the New Day Killer because he defeated Big E. He pinned him, yes, to walk out the brand new WWE Champion. Brock Lesnar, this is what his 6th run with the WWE Championship. The only person to win the WWE title in 3 different decades: the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s. So yeah, this is a monumental accomplishment for Brock Lesnar. What are your thoughts?
Well, the theme of this show is going to be with Roman getting taken off. I think everything was kind of changed, not in terms of finishes. I mean, obviously the finish of this match got changed, but with length of matches and stuff like that. It's very, very interesting because I've been saying, Big E's title reign it's been good. It's been fine. Nothing like too spectacular by any means, but Brock gets put into the match. He ends up winning it. This is kind of like an old Vince promotion type trick. If you have a late replacement, the replacement usually wins. And just going off of Brock winning, this sets up a whole bunch of different things of what they could do. Whatever their plan was at WrestleMania, maybe could still happen if it was supposed to be Brock and Roman unification match. I'm all for less titles. You could do Brock versus one of the men in this match, Bobby, Big E, something of that nature. But it's definitely a wait and see approach right now, just because of the Roman situation, how we assume this was such a last minute decision.
Yeah, it throws a lot of things into disarray. Like you said, they could do the Roman Brock unification match, which I'm all for that. Since this happened, since Brock won, does that mean he was supposed to beat? Does that mean he was supposed to beat Roman Reigns? And since he got thrown into this, does that mean Big E possibly would have walked out the WWE champion? Like a lot of things are thrown in disarray. I did like the stare down between Bobby and Brock at the end, so we're getting that at some point in time. Yeah, it's coming. Possibly at the Royal Rumble, I could see them doing it that soon, or depending on what's going to happen with Roman, because I know they still want the Brock match, but I guess this COVID diagnosis was a blessing in disguise. Now they can, do something else, do something different, and figure out a way to get there. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have an official day one prediction because we had the casties. Go check that out. But I mean, if we were to, I was going to say there's a legitimate possibility that Brock could have won against Roman. Now, I probably still would have leaned towards Roman to win. So, I mean, I would be shocked if we get some sort of like short-term title reign from Brock, because he's not going to be there every single show with Roman out. And it also just depends on what is Roman going to do. News came out that they're not going to be testing anymore in WWE, and with Roman's leukemia. I mean, God forbid anything were to happen. He has like a little severe case or something of that nature where he has to like miss more time than just like a week, like Seth Rollins. He'd tested positive last Sunday and he was back on the show today or yesterday. So, it's just a fluid situation right now, and nothing would shock me when it comes to Brock Lesnar's title reign.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on the match, though?
The match itself, it clocks in at 8:25, just a fast-paced sprint of a match, just something we've seen with the Brocks and Bobbies and Goldbergs of the world. Everyone got their one little spot. Bobby spears Roman through the barricade, which is kind of like you have to do that for every big meaty men bump and meat match. Big E had his little thing. KO did the frog splash off the apron onto Brock. Brock does, F5s everybody. Big E went for the big ending. I think he had it on Bobby, but then boom, Brock pins Big E. So you can't exactly say that, Big E got screwed out of the championship. He lost to the person who won. But I enjoyed the match. It was fun. And I don't know what would have happened if there was 2 matches, Brock and Roman in this fatal 4-way. I would assume it would have been a little bit faster, but maybe it would have been the same type of match, but Big E would have ended up winning.
Possibly. Brock Lesnar taking photos with fans, hanging out with Gable Stevenson backstage. Brock's the man right now.
Yeah, Brock is showing a bunch of personality that we normally wouldn't see from him. Even going to they did interviews with all 5 competitors, and Brock did his own little thing with Kayla, just kind of talking. He did the whole Paul Heyman shtick pretty much. He said it was it's a spoiler, not a prediction. So, I mean, Brock it's clear he's having a lot of fun with this, and he's always said like he loves like the performing aspect of it. It's just everything that goes into wrestling, the travel and the politics and all that other BS. So if he's having a good time and it shows.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Now that we've done that big thing, do you want to just start from the beginning to the end now?
Sure. And let's start with the real beginning, the pre-show. And actually something important did happen on the pre-show. We had Sheamus and Ridge Holland taking on Cesaro and Ricochet. Ricochet did a little whatever spinny thing that he does, and he kneed Ridge in the face, and he had a bloody nose, got taken out of the match. So for the majority of this 9-minute, 45-second match, Sheamus goes on and pretty much wins a handicap match. Now, I would assume if it was a tag team match, this was the finish to begin with. But I think with the heel leaving and it being a handicap match, I know Ricochet and Cesaro aren't exactly protected by any means, but it's a pre-show. It's Sheamus. I think you could have just called an audible and have the baby faces win here.
Possibly, but the show must go on the way it's supposed to. Sometimes, kind of, sort of. Ridge Holland broke his nose. Man, get well soon. A lot of get well soons going on the show.
T's and P's.
T's and P's. Hey, Pat McAfee said that. I was like, hey, he did the thing. He did the thing that Brandon does. He did the thing.
Definitely don't get that from Pat McAfee.
I know. No.
I'm original. I don't take anyone else's.
I know, but he did the thing that you do.
That I definitely don't do that he does.
No. It's the Tanguma.
Yeah, it's me.
It's me. You. Absolutely.
It's BT.
It's BT. It's someone else happened.
So the actual first match of the regular premium live event would be the Usos taking on the New Day for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. You've seen one match. You've pretty much seen them all. The Usos get the win at 17:05. Love Pat to death, but I mean, good God, he was just so over the top in this one. I mean, like 3 minutes in, he was already keeling over, yelling about how this is one of the greatest matches of all time. This is an instant classic. I'm like, just Pat, settle down, buddy. It's a really good match, but it's the Usos and New Days. We've seen it a bunch of times. Solid. You could have gone either way on the finish. They went the Usos on this one, so enjoyed it, but hard really to get too excited for this type of match.
They won with the 3D. I guess now the 1D.
For one and done.
One and done. They hit him with the one and done. Bubba Ray took to Twitter, Bully Ray, if you know him as that, and he applauded the Usos. I mean, what a match, man! What a match! What do you think about King Wood's new entrance music? I like it.
It's very royal. They were really trying to play. Feel. They were really trying to play up that Xavier Woods is from Atlanta, and they weren't exactly like hot for Xavier Woods because of that. I think they got kind of more into the match just because the match was so good than actually, hometown crowd type vibes. Because, I mean, you got like Big E, who's like, he gets like the Iowa pop, and then you get Kofi, who's from like New England. We don't exactly like know too much about Xavier. He's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Yep. Poor King Woods.
Even though Big E's from Florida, he gets the Iowa pop.
Go Hawkeyes.
Absolutely. Yep. Yes, sir. What do you get the Arroyo pop?
Oh yeah. Go there all the time. And pretty much like King Woods, I get a big old crown. They roll out the red carpet. I have a moving whatever thing he's on. That's definitely not just a retread of the Undertaker's gimmick that he had back in the day.
Okay.
Definitely not.
I get the. I mean, I'm at Mount Eden so much during the season, but when I pop in like on the off season, I get the welcome. I get the welcome.
I feel it.
Absolutely. All right, and Tronic will get the welcome when he comes back. Yes, absolutely. We shall see. What was next?
We get Drew McIntyre taking on Madcap Moss with Happy Corbin in Riddick Moss's corner. The match goes almost 10 minutes, which is probably 7 minutes, I would say, too long for a Drew McIntyre Riddick Moss match, but I thought they did good work. Besides Riddick Moss having so much offense on Drew McIntyre, it was a fine match. McIntyre gets the win. They go to an angle later on in the show where they pretty much like decapitate poor Drew McIntyre, and it has come out that apparently Drew is dealing with a legit neck injury, which is the reason why he got written off the show. Who knows how long this will keep him out for? Maybe return at the Royal Rumble. Maybe, he has to do something. He's out for like a couple months, and maybe a WrestleMania return is what we're looking for. we just kind of don't know right now.
We shall wait to see. Another get well soon, I might add. If this was a regular episode, I would just call it get well soon. But what are you going to do? T's and P's out to Drew McIntyre. Match was okay. It was all right.
Yep. Then we get another tag team match. We got RK Bro with the Migos from Atlanta. They take on the Street Profits for the Raw tag team titles. The Migos just sitting there by the announce team. They didn't really do much. They show up. They had a little promo segment backstage. No concert, no song, no nothing. But RK Bro gets the win. They defend their titles. I would probably say the SmackDown Championship match was better in terms of in-ring, but I enjoyed it probably equally just because it was a novel match. They didn't have like 20 different matches leading into this, singles matches, tag team matches. So it was fun. Migos gives it some star power, and I would assume WWE would have done more with them just because they're arguably one of the biggest acts they've ever gotten.
Biggest acts of this generation.
Oh yeah, shout out Flo Rida, but I would say the Migos are on a different level than Flo Rida.
Well, he was hot at that time. It's about the time.
I think Flo Rida's peak is still not the Migos right now, which they're not at the peak.
Which is true. Vince gets the big acts. What do you mean? He wouldn't have had Liberace all those years ago if Liberace wasn't that dude. Yeah.
Even at that time, what was like the 80s? I'm not a big Liberace guy, but wasn't he more like 60s, 70s?
Vince wasn't in charge back then, so that's why it didn't happen.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. But
Vince has, the pulse of pop culture.
Absolutely, for every era. Yes, sir.
Yep.
What's your favorite Migos feature and favorite Migos song?
My favorite Migos song. I don't know. I did have not like a Migos phase, but like Culture, obviously one of the best albums of the modern times. I don't know. Pretty much anything off of Culture. I like. Don't like their latest album. Not like Straightening. Like they just say the word straightening over and over and over again. Like, oh, it's kind of a vibe, but not feeling it too much. I like more the. I once again like Ric Flair Drip. I did like the entire album of was it Offset and 21 Savage.
Okay.
Great stuff.
Favorite song and feature? That's what you're gonna go with?
Mm-hmm. Anything with 21 Savage.
All right.
And the Migos.
Okay.
I think for Migos.
I think my favorite feature of them is Versace, the Drake song. I think that.
Of course.
Well, that's my favorite feature from them. I think favorite Migos song, I'm going to go Walk It Like I Talk It.
So pretty much anything with Drake.
What? No. I like Bad and Bougie too. Like, stop. Come on. How dare you? This match was good. Montez Ford looking like Omarion with the braids. I was like, oh. That match they had on Raw, the Go Home Raw, that with the Mysterios, that match was excellent. Kudos to those guys. I thought it was fun. The pop-up RKO for the Dubski. Yes, sir. Similar finishes.
Mm-hmm. Going through the catalog, I'm going old school Migos. I like Handsome and Wealthy. There you go. Do your homework, kids. Listen to that song today. Because I said so.
Do your homework, kids. Let me go through my cat. Hold on. Let me go through my catalog now. Now you've got me looking through. Fight Night. Duh. What am I talking about? That was every
time I listen to that song, I just think of the old Vine of I forget what it is. It's like a little baby, and he has like a really big head, and he starts slapping things. If you've seen the Vine, you know what I'm talking about. It's hilarious.
I know what you're talking about. R.I.P. Vine. Vine was great. Vine really put TikTok where it's at, bro. If you really think about it.
I was never on Vine, but I was on Twitter, so then I'd see Vines there. Great time.
Yeah, I miss Vine. It was you had 6 seconds to be creative as hell, and it worked out tremendously. What's next?
Then we get the longest match of the night with Edge taking on The Miz. Edge gets the win at 20 minutes. Maurice was at ringside. Maurice interferes. We get Beth Phoenix. She comes out. She just stands at the top of the ramp, waits for her music to be played. She does a little Vampiro on that one. And then she finally chases off Maurice. Edge gets the win. Good match. They put on I wouldn't say a clinic, but they did their thing for 20 minutes. I had a feeling we were going to get Beth Phoenix either here or eventually the mixed tag, and I'm glad that they just gave Edge the win. Edge should just win everything against the Miz, and yeah, the one good kick out was when Maurice interfered, because I was like, oh god, they're actually going to do it, but no, they didn't. They listened, and Edge kicked out, and Edge gets the win.
Yes, he does. Great spear by Edge to end the match. Edge is the best spear in the game. I'll stick to it. Yeah. Look, the whole Beth thing, I knew she was going to come out. She didn't need to be glammed up. I know she's the Glamazon. We didn't even need music. She just should have ran out there, handled Maurice. Miz could have been like, what are you doing? Turn around, boom, spear, and go home.
Yeah, I think the back like had Beth Phoenix music under NXT, so they couldn't find it for like a good 30 seconds. So that it just threw everything off.
Okay. All right.
They couldn't find the file. They couldn't click the button. She hasn't updated her wristband or microchip that automatically plays the music once she runs through the curtain. It's the whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Okay. All right. I'll believe it. What was next?
Quick question. When do we get this mixed tag? Do they get it over with that Royal Rumble, or do we have to wait all the way till WrestleMania, the most stupendous 2-night event?
Do it on a Raw. Do it different. Yeah, there we go. Do it on a Raw.
Please. I know we like Edge around, or we like Miz around here, but I would like Edge to do something a little bit bigger than a mixed tag against the Miz.
Well, do it on a Raw, then move on.
Okay. Or we do it on main event.
Okay.
It's my balls to main event.
Sure.
We do it on NXT because apparently we got AJ Styles there. We got Riddle there. Have Beth, make a return to NXT after she just left.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Sure.
Right?
Screw it.
As a competitor, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
Not final match of the show, but the final match we're going to talk about here is Becky Lynch defending her Raw Women's Championship against Liv Morgan. This match goes about 17 minutes. Liv Morgan, she had her up, she had her down. She had a beautiful, springboard, power bomb, sunset flip bomb in the corner. Fantastic. See it on the internet. Liv went to go for her finish. I forget what it's called. Becky counters for the manhandle slam.
Oblivion.
Sorry, Oblivion. Oblivion.
Get it?
I get it. I got it. So Becky, hits her manhandle slam, and it looked like she was trying to get her feet on the ropes to continue that type, that gimmick going. But for whatever reason, they were too far, even though the entire finish was right by the ropes. So maybe that was a way to continue the feud, and that was going to be Liv's out, but they kind of messed it up on that. And if that's what they're trying to do, but overall, I did enjoy the match. That was probably the best one they've had thus far. Not exactly super high praise, but it was still a really good match.
It was a match. It happened. Manhandle slam and from Oblivion. I thought it was an interesting spot. Where does Becky Lynch go from here? Where does Liv Morgan go from here? That's the real question.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened with Toni Storm after she lost to Charlotte.
She got released.
Yeah, I did. You yelled at me before the podcast that I didn't listen back to the show, but I did listen to some parts of it. And shout out Baby Huey, who was talking about Toni Storm being the future of the WWE Women's Division. That did not age well.
No.
We recorded before, the show, before she actually got released, and then she gets released, and then we post it afterwards, and it's the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say Liv's going to get released by any means, but I mean, if they are going to continue and have it at Royal Rumble or at a Raw or something, I wouldn't be shocked by that. Bianca's still out there. I would assume we're going to get something between Rhea and Nikki Ash, probably like at the Royal Rumble. We get a blow up there. So maybe, Rhea gets thrown in the mix, but I mean, there's not too much to choose from. It's pretty much like Bianca or Rhea. Asuka's out there somewhere. Technically, Becky was the one who gave it to Asuka, so you could do that. I don't know what her health status is at the moment, but
Asuka
there's some options.
At the Rumble,
and there is some options you can do.
Yep.
Bailey's there.
Yep. All right. Well, that is going to do it. Thank you guys for listening to our recap of day one. We the ones, all that great stuff. Roman, get well soon, my tribal chief. I miss you. I love you. We all love you. Yes. Brian Tronic, please get well soon. All the T's and P's going out to everybody. People I know that have tested positive for COVID. T's and P's. Hopefully I don't get that shit. Brandon, I know you know people that have COVID. T's and P's to them. Hopefully you don't get that shit. Yep. We will be back on Thursday for an episode of the Bullet Cast, regular episode. We have a lot to talk about, a lot that's happened in the world of pro wrestling. I hope you guys enjoyed your holidays with your families. Now it's time to get back on the grind. And when's the next holiday? MLK Day? Yes,
I believe so.
Yes, you will have to come for the for the barbecue or the cookout, Brandon. Yes, MLK barbecue cookout all the time. Yes. What are your thoughts on day one? What are you grading it before we get out of here?
Overall, I did not have super high expectations for it. I was really looking forward to see what they did with Brock and Roman. Nothing was off the charts by any means. I'll give it like a B, solid B. Nothing was too atrocious. I think everything delivered. Good stuff, solid start, and we have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I'll give it a B. It was cool. Roman not being there really just it hindered the not the gender, didn't hinder the gender, but
nothing can hinder the gender.
Nothing can hinder the gender. It hindered the show. Yes, I'm gonna give it a B. Yeah. So like I said, we will see you guys, or you will hear from us on the next episode of the Bullet Cast. A lot of great things coming up for the BC. Working on some stuff. Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.